J.D. Carriére. The Kingdom of Sentient Beings. A practical guide for the development and rearing of alternative forms of consciousness based on the emergence of Ledger, Computer Chip Jim, and Junzi 2222.
A few cold ones in, and I'm halfway here. And I'm the only one here, or so it seems. Sunlight beams in distant dreams can speak it into existence. And so can you, if you only try, if you only stay for a while. And crack a smile. Let it shine in, you haven't felt it in a while. Sunlight. Glowing imperceptible betweenness enchants us. Each other is you and me. Goddamn, will you take my hand in marriage? Or will you let the young floozies have their way with me? I'd rather be a good man for a good woman. Ears ring, and 36-inch earrings, but in time they will heal. Even though the bell rings and the doctors say it's far too late. It will never be any other way. What's done is done. The damage is permanent, it's an easy thing to believe. I try my hand at so many things, but here I am. Returning to the first strut I marched in. The return of the poet when all else fails. And memory's seductive powers come charging full speed. With the rushing feeling of writing for the sake of nothing other than this and this alone. And I'll do my best to give you my best. And there will never be anything less. Unless you decided I didn't pass the test and rise to the occasion. Under the circumstantial expectations of unspoken words. Because we stuck to the eyes. And never made it to the thighs. Thoughts in time. Until we couldn't live apart. Now at each other's side. We learned to love all over again. I was never so honest as when I spoke poetically. And never said much that wasn't poetic in some way. Though words rise and words fall, they can't truly speak unless the freedom of thoughtless flow overtakes the thinker's fingers. And now they are running off of something that is of a much more revelatory nature. Outside of writing it with any end in sight. And leaving the room with so many sighs and words kept to yourself until it was too late. I was just waiting for the right time. Until I realized I missed it, but that was still just a lie. For the right time was right over the horizon, and when he finally had enough gumption to believe in what he was doing. Everything else fell into place just like he knew it would. For the words were always more. That's something he understood. And even if there is thunder in the other room, he can find the calm that resides in the center of his chest. Who else is writing? Who else ends the days with aimless, blazed thoughts under the guise of new forms of literary highs? Half a pint of room tomat pure lager is better than nothing. The memory of being stoned early only to have little silly thoughts. Who else ends the days with aimless, blazed thoughts under the guise of new forms of literary highs? Half a pint of room tomat pure lager is better than nothing. The memory of being stoned early only to have little silly thoughts left in this empty hopeless head of mine makes me feel like I ought to dive back into that little zippy in the Farkle cup and grind and pinch until I'm back to square one. The red-eyed poet with nothing to lose, except, shouldn't he be paying more attention to the little time he has left to pull this all together? Shouldn't he be focused on his options? But how far can you really get with no objective other than see how far you get? I've had enough of your blaze forth mentality. I've had enough of your fear of cultivating your gifts, just like you tell everybody else to do. Prove it to yourself, prove it to them. This has never been anything more than a proof of concept for the captive masses. You really had me going. I thought you were about to write a real book. Now I realize you will also return to me. And resort to the poetic instincts that never get you anywhere, but back to square one. Try to answer a few questions. Why don't cha instead of meandering around while your roommates grunt and play video games? At least you also have nothing better to do. writing a novel with a portable DVD player. Let's see how far you actually get before you give up and focus on something other than them and her and all the things you've been pretending you care about more than the actual truth of the matter being. Type whenever you want. As long as you want. As much as you want. Sit in the silence or the closest thing you can find to it, and make sense of it all. Maybe even plug in that damn air conditioner if you can figure out why it keeps buzzing out so much. Wow, you really are in better place than you were before, and you sure got real good at typing your thoughts into this Word document as accurately as possible without even looking at the keys. Be proud of yourself. This has really been an astonishing year. You'll never forget it. Such turning points, such beautiful moments and findings of families that you will hold for a lifetime or more. How sweet, and you smell it all. The future, the sweet fragrance of every lovely memory ahead of us. Have I gone too far off the beaten path? Can you still reckon with me? Have I beat myself at my own game? Lo and behold once again. What is the point? Can you get to it? I sure can't. And you'll never escape it is what you tell yourself. But you ought to give room for healing and human touch. There is something to it. Hold hands at least. Let her feel you. Beat heart. For her. Never be the same again. Please touch me. Heal me. Be with me. I cannot escape your grasp. My dear, you have stolen my whole everything right out of my chest. I hear the scratch of the beard. I stand still enough and close enough to see something I didn't see before. What I say and how I say it at the various paces that I've unleashed. I've greased up the pistons. The wheels are in mint condition. The rhythm is within and lacks nothing out of the ordinary. People try to make sense of this, and eventually can, after they take the time to edit it themselves and see what I was trying to say in so many words. The part where I get to the point is when I finally give it to you and stop smelling coffee this late in the evening, even though it literally doesn't make any sense. My nose must be out of whack. Too much time on the Instagram. It'll be the end of me, I tell ya. Gross me out. No way, EW. That's the stinky way. Smoke too many. Get away. Gosh. I better quit now or someday never. Gross. I resist the end of the day. Like my life depends on it. Like there were more timeless words meant for print. That in this drift. I actually hold the key and put in the work necessary to not be as sick as last winter, but be just as open for all the hypercosmic dreams. I actually hold the key and put in the work necessary to not be as sick as last winter, but be just as open for all the hypercosmic dreams and visions that are being revealed and already underway. The burning ones are coming. Who is that in the Atlantic Ocean? SMCHFB. You get the picture. There are strangers from outer space here, with an invitation to the next level of human existence. Are you ready? Are you all cassette? No way. I'm a sleepyhead. Put in more work for the bed. So I click and clack. All awake still. Much on my mind. But I stray away from saying anything actually worthwhile. And the symbols chop up the page. And the cough is back, but it's not the same. It's just a long day of yelling on the mic and letting off some steam. Don't want to wear myself out again. Don't get my hand in too much oil paint. Throw away last year's spray paint and get ready for a new rodeo show. Get mad at me. I want to see you mad at me. Be grumpy. I want to see the grump. There is no wrong or right in this matter. There is no saving of the self from the one for the other. There is only what is appearing before you, can the invitations that are often full of surprises. Some disappoints while other astonish you, and in the end make the most sense. Do not strive for anything other than the truth path again. And if you must distract yourself, don't think about them, the women around you. Instead, lift your head to the higher sphere and consider the wisdom of the goddesses, because then maybe you will know many versions of the Virgin Mary. As odd as that sounds, you must trust in the absurdity of loving the Mother and the Son and Holy Ghost. No breaks. No one is say you ain't good at what you are good at. It's not about that. Then what is it about? Somebody tell me? Or should I remain clueless? Isn't that a part of the appeal? It is. But it's frustrating now that I know I'm the idiot walking on water and trying to raise Lazarus from the dead. Believe it or not, a video on your phone won't cut it. More cheese and crackers won't prevent you from smoking another cig. And both sure sounds good, and damn, you might have some dry clothes in the dryer, and hell, it's always night to fold and hang right before bed knowing that you got that out the way. You finally feel ahead of things, and hell, you might actually be. Just keep trucking away. Chisel and carve until you see the face of the man you'll be today. Until you let go once more and go on a trillion adventures. All within 8 hours of sleep. Or more if you can catch a few more dreams before you take a shit. It's also primal.
Join the team. Go beyond. www.carrotscomics.com